WinForms C# example application, Payroll evaluation, 2 weeks. We are learning to program in C#. In this exercise, we will evaluate the salary of an employee on a 2-week basis. We will calculate the regular time, the overtime, the regular pay, the overtime pay, and the net pay. Start Microsoft Visual Studio. On the Visual Studio 2026 dialog box, click Create a new project. In the Create a new project dialog box, in the Languages combo box, select C#. In the list of project templates, click WiinForms App. Click Next. In the Configure your new project dialog box, set the project name to Payroll Evaluation 2. Click Next. In the Additional Information dialog box, in the Framework combo box, select the highest version and click Create. In the Solution Explorer, right-click Form 1 and click Rename. Tap Exercise to get exercise.cs and press Enter twice. Design the form as follows. After designing the form, we can proceed with the calculation. To do that, double-click the Calculate button. Implement the event as follows. First, declare a variable for each of the values that will be requested from the user. That will be week 1 Monday, week 1 Tuesday, week 1 Wednesday, week 1 Thursday, week 1 Friday, week 1 Saturday, week 1 Sunday, week 2 Monday, week 2 Tuesday, week 2 Wednesday, week 2 Thursday, week 2 Friday, week 2 Saturday, and week 2 Sunday. We'll also need to request the hourly salary, so we declare a variable for it. Then we will proceed on requesting the values from the user. We use exception handling in case there would be a problem. So we request a value for the hourly salary, then get the value for week 1 Monday, week 1 Tuesday, week 1 Wednesday, week 1 Thursday, week 1 Friday, week 1 Saturday, and week 1 Sunday. In the same way, get the values for week 2 Monday, week 2 Tuesday, week 2 Wednesday, week 2 Thursday, week 2 Friday, week 2 Saturday, and week 2 Sunday. Then we calculate the time worked for the first week, which is done by adding the week 1 Monday to week 1 Tuesday to week 1 Wednesday to week 1 Thursday to week 1 Friday to week 1 Saturday and to week 1 Sunday. In the same way, for the second week, we add the week 1 week 2 Monday, week 2 Tuesday, week 2 Wednesday, week 2 Thursday, week 2 Friday, week 2 Saturday, and week 2 Sunday to get the total time for the second week. To anticipate the calculation for overtime, we will calculate the overtime salary by multiplying the hourly salary to 1.5. Next, we declare variables that will be used for the calculation of the salary. So we declare variables for week 1 regular time, week 2 regular time, week 1 overtime, week 2 overtime, week 1 regular pay, week 2 regular pay, week 1 overtime pay, and week 2 overtime pay. To start the calculation, we assume that the user worked less than 40 hours a week, in which case the regular time for the first week is the same as the total time of the first week. The regular pay for the first week, in this case, is equal to the hourly salary times the week 1 regular time. In case the employee worked less than 40 hours for the week, the week 1 overtime is equal to 0 and the week 1 overtime pay is equal to 0. If the user worked over 40 hours a week, then we need to calculate the overtime. In this case, the week 1 regular time is equal to 40. The week 1 regular pay is gotten by multiplying the hourly salary to 40. The week 1 overtime is calculated by subtracting 40 hours a week from the week 1 total time. The overtime pay for the first week is gotten by multiplying the week 1 overtime to the overtime salary. The calculations are done the same way for the second week. Then to get the total regular time, we add the regular time from the first week to the regular time of the second week. To get the overtime, we add the overtime of the first week to the overtime of the second week. To calculate the regular pay, we add the regular pay of the first week to the regular pay of the second week. To calculate the overtime pay, we add the week 1 overtime pay to the week 2 overtime pay. To calculate the overall net pay, we add the regular pay to the overtime pay. And finally, we display the values in the bottom section of the form. After performing the calculations, you can return to the form and double-click the close button. When implementing the event, simply call the close method in the event. Now to test the application, on the main menu, you can click Debug, Start without debugging. To test the exception handling, in any text box that is requesting a number, you can type any letter. For example, I type the W in the hourly salary and I click Calculate. If you do that, you should receive a series of message boxes. Other than that, in the employee name, type a regular employee name, any name you want. For the hourly salary, type a regular number. I will type 28.46. For the time worked, provide some values that can be less than 40 for the whole week. So for example, on the first week on Monday, I will type 8. For the first week on Tuesday, I type 7.5. For the first week on Wednesday, I type 6. For the first week on Thursday, I type 7.5. For the Friday of the first week, I type 6.5. I leave the Saturday and Sunday to 0. In the same way, for the second week, I will type values that can be less than 40. So for Monday of the second week, I type 7. For Tuesday of the second week, I type 8. For Wednesday of the second week, I type 6. For Thursday of the second week, I type 6 also. And for Friday of the second week, I type 8. I leave the Saturday and Sunday to 0. After providing the value, I click Calculate. And I get some numbers. Now to calculate the overtime, I will change some values. For example, for the first week on Monday, I type 8. For the first week on Tuesday, I type 10. For the first week on Wednesday, I type 9. For the first week on Thursday, I type 8.5. For the first week on Friday, I type 8. And I leave Saturday and Sunday to 0. For the second week on Monday, I type 9. For the second week on Tuesday, I type 8. For the second week on Wednesday, I type 10.5. For the second week on Thursday, I type 9. And for the second week on Friday, I type 8 and 5. I leave the Saturday and Sunday to 0. And I click Calculate. And I get some new values in the payroll summary section. After using the form, you can click Close. The link of the application is provided in the description section. Thank you.